Hi guys, it's a May, so it's a new contest starting for the entire month for everybody who comes to Facebook, joins, follows me, shares, comments, interacts, as well as on YouTube. It's counting each time you do it as one entry. So I'm going to give at the end of the month 3 20-minute readings. For those of you who want to know if you won, check the Facebook. I have announced 3 winners today for the month of April, pardon me. Okay, so let's start with the X spread. Hi guys, here is my X spread, and for those of you who know the significators, please look at the timestamp and you can just really go right into the reading. For those who are the first ones here or who still want to understand how am I making this actually work, just listen the explanation, and here it is. I have created a spread. It is known Cat Tarot Knows X spread, but it's also applicable for on and off relationships, and even to kind of like figure out the feelings and intricacies of your relationship. Why? Because I have actually used 7 categories, and 7, right? It's a kind of like really magic spiritual number, and also the entire spread numerologically adds up to 3. 3 is like that card of union of Trinity, so it is something that can kind of like raise from the ashes, right? So I'm just trying to figure out what can work, what cannot work. As I say in my private readings, you have to understand that not all relationships are meant to be. Like when you get together with someone, everything is really nice in the beginning. We want to charm, we want to be our best, but sort of like that enthusiasm maybe kind of like falls off with time. People get sidetracked, people meet other people. So one category here that I'm exploring, the very first one, is the Magician. So in tarot, Magician is a number 1. So of course it means, is this a go? Can this relationship ever be a starter? So what is Magician doing? Magician is somebody who comes to work and he goes, okay, let me crack my fingers and I'm going to start working. What do I need to do today? Wow. And there is a task, it's a little project list, and then he starts to manifest. So it's a start before the start. So what does he want to manifest? Look at the difference. He kind of like wants to use all the available tools, right? You see all of these tools here are now floating. They're activated. So I really want to see what is in this category. This category is going to tell me if you guys had all the ingredients to make a relationship. What in this category you have? Love, devotion, family, kind of like sharing. Then I say, yeah, like really good ground. Like there's like a great foundation for this. But what if you have, let's say, love and then lack of reputation or lack of family or jealousy? Then obviously, that's going to have issues. Sometimes it's just like downward negative. So the things that are supposed to help you are just basically things that are tearing you apart. And sometimes you have all but one element, and that one element seems to be important. It is like having 4 tires for a car and have an engine and have windshield and have all the other windows. Name it, rename it, and the key is there. And you start with a key, you try to crack it, and you realize, whoa, I don't have a gas. So you're not going anywhere with there. So this is why sometimes we feel that the one night stand was like more promising than it was, and it wasn't. It actually haven't ever been there. Maybe at the time and place it seemed kind of important, and it hasn't been important in a global kind of like scheme of things. And we as women, especially women, and even some more romantic men, and I would tend to think that these are the men who are actually coming to these tarot sessions with me. They're like lesser percentage, but there's still 25% of men over here. And I think these are quality men, and I wish that they actually speak up a little bit more, because people who connect with tarot really want to find out the real answers, and they really want to be in touch, or not only with the others but with themselves. So this is the category number 1. Category number 2, I picked this angel. I think it's Michael, who is trying to, I think, in biblical terms, merge wine and water. Well, that's not a really big deal. But here in tarot, it's basically talking about trying to merge two different things. So, of course, in a relationship, there are two different people. And even if you get along, you still have your own intricacies that might not really fit properly, right? So, what's basically happening here is, okay, let's put this together. Let's create this passion. Let's create this growth. Let's create this like solid emotions that we can kind of like step in. However, I'm asking for this card to be reversed. Why? In this category, I want to find out what doesn't work. What kind of like has to be fixed in order for things to kind of really work out. You see, in this after tarot, this angel is kind of manifesting. You see, one is connecting with emotions, another one is connecting with the sky. So literally you're getting, I mean, I love you as the sky is high and I love you as the sea is deep. Kind of like everything, kind of universal. And it's like still this like beaming with reaction. So what basically we're going to find out here is like if things that you have to build are sort of unbridgeable, if they can be built. So then I'm taking Queen of Wands, forget the horoscope associations. Of course, when I do Golden Dawn readings, I have to take everything into account. But even at that point, I'm just trying to see more or less personalities. But here I'm looking at how we really want to be seen in a relationship. So that's a significator for one party, generally for ladies. And if there are two ladies, then I put two Queen of Wands. If there are two guys, I put two King of Wands. So don't get all upset that this kind of represents fire signs, because when we start dating, we are all fire. We all start with fire, right? And it's kind of like fun, it's passionate, we are outgoing, we are playful, we are going out. Even if you're a homebody, you will go out. Even if you're recluse, you will go out. Even if, you know, you generally are not very sexual, you'll still have sex. So this is talking about being a little bit different. This is our dating selves, right? So you see here, she has this like beautiful flower, right? And the kitty cat that is right now connecting to her. See, it's kind of like, okay, where do I move from here? Am I kind of staying in my element or not? So here is my communication card. I'm trying to figure out, so in this category here, pardon me, with Queen of Wands, I really want to see what your partner, how did your partner perceive you? So, right, like, I mean, you know that people are generally not really straightforward, and you can go as far as that they're not being honest. So they don't really tell you. They kind of tell you sort of medicated version or kind of sedated version of what they think. And kind of like they don't express generally things that they don't like. So you really don't know what the real opinion is. You just know what you heard. So this is basically telling us what your partner saw in you or how he saw you reacted. So kind of like get this perception they had from their side. Here with 8 of Wands, this is my communication card. With this card, I actually really want to see the intricacies of energies. So this can mean how did you communicate? This can mean how basically, how well do you mesh, right? So in this kind of like position here is showing, okay, are you firing back? Because these wands are falling back, the communication is coming your way. Are you communicating right back? And is this effective communication? So now this is a second significator, right? And this is also same thing. I picked the fire sign, basically significator, because the other person also wants to be seen as cool. This guy wants to be seen, oh my gosh, I'm so charismatic. She kind of like likes me, and you know, I am her king, and kind of like they want to feel this way. You see, kind of like he here has the little salamander, kind of just making his little first step, and here he's holding the salamander basically in his palm. Salamanders basically signify fire, interestingly enough, even though they kind of reside in the rain. Long time ago, in like 13th, 14th centuries, when they were creating these cards, they just saw salamanders jumping out from the fireplaces because they were kind of like be around there, and they thought they were fire animals, and that's how they were actually connected in tarot to fire. So And then I took judgment. And judgment is literally for me to feel out how karmically you basically are reacting. Because I also do karma readings. And in karma readings, I can totally see if people are repeating certain patterns, if they're bringing them from the past lives, and that's my past life reading. And it's kind of like it's easier to understand what's coping. But in this reading, I cannot go in 20, 30, 40 minutes of that. So I'm just trying to get at least an overview. So judgment card is talking about a situation that has been evolving. And maybe it's even dead, but it's come back to be alive just for rendering this opinion. So this is more or less a cosmic judgment, a karma card, right? So here are the two phases of that, right? Here it is like, we are here. What? Have it been good or not good? Is it make it or break it time? And here it is, okay, some of you are just going to be dead, right? So your relationship, it shouldn't go forward, or it should go forward. And this is what karma is saying, right? So I know that we all want relationships, but sometimes it's also good to get closure. And lastly, I'm picking this card for once because this is that celebration card, moving to the next stage. Four corners being solidified. So now some people say this is a marriage. It just means the next step. It could be reunion, it could be reconciliation, it could be just the quality of your relationship. It's not lived happily ever after. Yeah, some of us have been brainwashed with that. You know, it should be called what it is, crap. And please, mothers, don't read these like bad stories to your kids, because if you look how those stories were in their original form, they were not kind or nice at all. So this is just basically saying, are you going to go to the next stage with this person? Because marriage, after all, is just the next stage. There are many marriages that are not working out because you're just starting to build from the scratch. So when I say sometimes in my readings, well, this one phase has to end, another one has to start. So this could mean you're going from dating to steady, from steady to engagement, from engagement, so and so forth, so on. So you see this kind of like movement in this phase is exactly that. You're going from the celebration, I say, okay, we are giving this a try. So in this category, I'm exploring how well you guys are going to do. So when I do all of these categories, then I sort of like look at the intricacies and how this works. So if category, which is supposed to be the glue, is just not forming the glue, no matter how much you want, you are going to fall apart. You can still stick together, hold on to each other like for dear life. It's not going to work out. And it's good to know. So guys, hopefully this is kind of more understanding the categories. Check it on my website as well if you want to see this video again. I'm going to post just a short clip there, but also explanation of each card is over there. And if you want to order this X spread, then you're getting energies that are just between the two of you, not these generic energies that I am actually explaining on my site. The difference is like here there are many people, and so basically some people are cross watchers and they bring their energy. So sure, it can give you some general opinion and you might see it here. Most of the time people do, but to get really the energy between 2 or 3 people, please contact me for a private reading. The prices are on my site, so visit me there at www.cattarot.ca. Thanks, love you. And guys, if you want your spread that is still on the special, it is $45. So please contact me. My information is in the description on the site, or go on my website www.cattarot.ca. Hi Libra, let's see what's going to be happening for you and the exes. And I actually took the significator cards from my old deck. Only thing, somebody managed to actually snatch the King of Wands, and instead I'm using Knight of Wands, but King of Wands is overseeing over here. And Knight of Wands also can talk about this rushing energy coming toward us, which kind of we sometimes want with our exes. So let's see. Please watch this intro. If you don't know what these significators mean, it's going to take only once watching it. Every other time you'll just jump right in. And also guys, this is a general reading. Your personal reading might be completely different, so for your personal, contact me. This reading is on a special, and it doesn't go week by week. It kind of goes a little bit differently when I go into the personal ones. So let's see what's in your toolbox. Whoa, right off the gate there is possibly a third person, or possibly a wife, or could be possibly some kind of energy that is like overly spending, kind of beautifying, skin deep kind of energy. What needs to be fixed. Whoa, you have like now Magician coming here. So the manifestation has to be fixed. How to go about things needs to be fixed. So I would not be surprised if I see the Tower over here eventually. So how are you being seen? So it can be you, it can be him, or vice versa. These two cards are the significators. See, you're being seen as mysterious and possibly secretive. How's the communication? Whoa, attraction is obviously very high, and this is basically where you do not understand that this is not good for you, and kind of like that's why this manifestation has to be fixed. The Devil card is kind of like that attraction where you feel, oh, I'm so much in love with this person that I really have to have it. I have to have it, and I just really want my hands all over him or all over her. But it's like really codependent energy where the understanding should take place that, look, this is not really how relationships really are. And even with the best relationships, the honeymoon period is like only a short period of time. It's like a car. Like, I mean, it runs great when it's new, but it needs lots of fixing. And this is kind of like feeling, oh my gosh, it's always going to be new. It's always going to be this exciting. And that's why like 3 major arcanas in a row. And there is somebody else in the picture here, guys. So Knight of Wands, or how do they perceive themselves and where are they going? See, kind of like they feel they're out in the cold, but sort of like they're coming out of it. Kind of like a little displaced kind of energy. Karma, judgment. What is sort of like view from the above on this arrangement? Yeah, it's lots of turmoil. So this is what happens with the Devil, especially if you're rejected and you have this kind of energies like you kind of like keep thinking this is really bad energy, like all the time. They're on your mind all the time. They're thinking about them, they're crying about them, they're kind of rehushing what happened, rethinking what you could have said, rethinking what they did to you, getting angry, getting sad, kind of all over the place, right? So let's see the end of that first week in terms of reunions. You see, there is some kind of understanding that certain things have to come to a full circle. The world spins, right, round and round, and it's kind of like the energy where you have to understand that something else has to replace the current thing. So you're going from 1 to 21 in 1 week. So this first week is going to be really, really crucial for you. Kind of like setting your ground, going deep. But I think with Devil energy, it's going to be very hard for you to understand that you need to move on, because that energy is so strong that it's really hard, and unless somebody really pulls the rug under your feet to kind of bump with the head down and understand, oh my gosh, you know, I haven't been myself at all in this relationship, and then get shocked with things you were doing. So let's see the second week. Yeah, somebody doesn't want to be single, and that's probably you, Libra. You have that kind of thing. However, this card is really important to want to have it. You guys need to want to be independent. You guys need to want to feel good about who you are in order to move in a relationship. However, in this situation, this can actually mean there is somebody else in this partner's life who doesn't think that they want to let go. It could be one of those things that somebody gets together with you, everything looks okay for a while, all of a sudden the partner becomes distant, and you don't know what's going on, and you're blaming on yourself. More and more you're trying to be affectionate. The more affectionate you are, right, the more kind of like secretive they turn out to be. And yet maybe that's all there is like they have been in a cold with their girlfriend, and now the girlfriend is maybe reconsidering, and people just forgot to tell you that, and you are the on the receiving end of this whole situation. So what needs to be fixed? Yeah, the kind of like understanding of how to go ahead. What kind of world to build for the two of you? Where are you going? Is he staying, being stuck and being bolted to the wall, or is he going to take something new? So going from 1 to 2, like it's a slight movement forward. How are you being seen? You might check out. You might just say, look, it doesn't work for me. Off I go. Communication. Yeah. Somebody's not seeing this working out. Somebody's seeing this, everything that happened was just a false start. How do they feel about that? You see, actually they are the ones also agreeing with that. So you're walking away, but they are also checking out. Wow, second week is going to be really stressful for many signs. Judgment. 9 of Wands. So that's yet another 9 on 9. So like now there are 3 nines. 9, 9, and 9. This is definitely energy of coming out. And this is energy where you kind of like feel like, oh my gosh, how much more I have to endure here. And this is because of devil energy. That's why you are quote unquote enduring it, because you feel compelled to do certain things. It's just like what addiction makes you do it. You know that smoking an extra cigarette is not going to be good for you, but you just do it. And then you're preparing defenses on a different level. I have to take my medical plan. So this is the relationship kind of thing. Oh my gosh. This kind of like was a really harsh lesson. And it was telling you here in the first week already, kind of like, you know what, this cannot continue. And yeah, this is great. After the world, look at this. After the world, you're kind of understanding, look, this has to go away. Like, I mean, I have to start my life differently. I have to be this fool, kind of removing myself from all this baggage. And kind of like, you see, he has like tiny little kind of traveling pack. Yet, this is still not emotion. This is still kind of that initial feeling where, you know, you're contemplating how to go about it, but it is a decision to make to go ahead. It's kind of a light feeling as well, and understanding like, okay, this is better for me. So this person walking away from here to kind of like go, oh, this is great, you know, and it's kind of like, can I expect loyalties for friends, and kind of going to something else without having a baggage. That's the key. You are able to close this down. That's why these nines are showing up here, because you're able to close it down to kind of move in a better productive situation. So the third week, yeah, all of a sudden, like, I mean, there is kind of rebuild, and that could be rebuild of the other relationship here. Yeah, as far as gluing between the two of you guys, there is this resentment. Look, I don't want anything that is offered. How are you seen? Yeah, you are actually the one who don't want this relationship. You walked away. You're standing by your decision. Communication. Look, in the communication reverse. Communication, it's either really bad or non-existent. How are they? You see, they just like feel like they kind of failed. The wish hasn't been fulfilled. It's kind of a solo party thing, kind of, you know what they say, hi Sophie, hey Sophie, what's up, you like Libras, huh? Yeah, you do, but can we just finish this? Like, they're on the third week. We just need to go one more week, please. Say that you love them. Huh? No? Okay. This usually doesn't work. When I put her aside, she comes right back because the message is not there. Just like the devil energy. Just like, I want it, I want it, I want it. So, yeah, this is kind of like a solo party, or could be a pity party as well. Kind of like bawling his or her eyes out. Feeling sorry for yourself, even though kind of there is the understanding this kind of like didn't go anywhere. Karmically, yeah, karma is saying, look guys, like with all these bad emotions and all these bad memories that you have, and plus there is somebody from the past here that kind of like is in the whole situation, like this is not workable. Yeah, and somebody finally is getting out of this kind of like protective box, as they call it, like this kind of like was this feeling of being immobile, not knowing what's next, kind of really obviously needing help. But here is kind of realizing, you know what, it's not this bad, kind of being single. It's kind of giving me the other options. So let's see how basically I'm going through the week 4. There you go, charging forward. This is kind of lovely. Yellow cards over here. So it's kind of like toolbox is positive, even though it was kind of negative for you. But even if the other person is in there, it's not about winning this battle, because you don't want the person who you basically ripped off from somebody else, right? They have to come to you on their own accord. And this is basically talking about that. So what needs to be glued? You see, that's the Queen of Wands here reversed. Like you checked out. Like the passion and being goal-oriented, this person in this relationship is just out there. Yeah, and this is kind of like something you're not going to change. You don't feel that this relationship is going to bring you any luck. So it's a 10. It's again moving on in a new direction. Communication. Yeah, you're actually starting to feel, Libra, that, oh my gosh, I got saved. You are going to get this realization. Oh my gosh, you're going to really clean yourself from this devil energy. You are getting to the point saying, like, I see from this, like, oh my gosh, this was a battle. And so many things happening and violating me to, oh, I'm feeling so relieved. Like, this is 10 and this is a 10. And your partner feels really victorious over that. Somehow they are smug. Sometimes they feel, you know, well, oh my gosh, I'm so great. I'm so much to be adored. Like, this is from this 5 where they feel they feel kind of like being shunned, being pushed on in cold. Now all of a sudden, like, I mean, after that pity party, they're like admiring themselves. Sort of like a little bit narcissistic trait with everything else that is going on. Or maybe they're reconnected with their partner and there is like kind of sex in their life. And karma is saying, well, this is brightness, like sun is finally shining. So let's see the last one, King of Pentacles. I think you Libras are actually moving in a different direction. I think this can all basically say few things. While this relationship with your ex is doomed and you're going to decide at yourself that you're not moving that direction, they don't want it either. But there is like this kind of like really intriguing energy between the two of you that you are getting together because sex is so good. But you're realizing this kind of like just each and every time just damages you more, and it kind of closes you from the opportunity to build something with somebody else. But this is kind of like talking about building something with somebody else. Talking about finding the partner. King of Pentacles is a really good, reliable partner who says and does what he says. Kind of this rare partner that you want to find. And coming out in a kind of relationship category and what karma is saying, it's great. It could also mean that you are building yourself into this kind of a partner, and kind of like, because it shows here, it could also mean, lastly, that this person is going back, because the Queen of Pentacles is the first in a spread and King of Pentacles is last. This can mean that that partner that you had is reconciling with his ex-partner, wife. But you're happy about that. You kind of like understanding that you kind of like have to heal yourself. So Libra, these energies don't have to be yours, particular ones, because these are general energies of all Libras and their partners on this channel. And so for your own personal reading, please contact me. I can actually do the reading on your own private and personal energies. Hi Sophie, do you like Libras? Huh? No? Why? Why not? Huh? Do you love me? Nothing today. So she's not talking today. But anyway, you're the first sign today that she just jumped on, so that's a good sign. So Libra, love you.